Okay, 1984 Bluebird TRX Series 2, 3rd edition. Let's have a walk around it. Beginning tow bar, that's great, dog's not included. Cannon on the back of it, leading to a 2¼ inch exhaust pipe. Diesel, thanks very much for your help. The worst part here is, in fact, the rust. The rust is as wide as your finger will span across. Basically, it had bog underneath, and the bog's now decided to go all soft, and it's completely useless, and hence it's bubbled. You can see the repair did originally go up to this far, but yeah, that's where it's failed, and subsequently it's stayed like that for the last, God knows how long, 12 years I think I've had it. So don't mind the paint. The paint is actually good underneath. It's just unfortunately the dust has decided to settle on it, and I tried to squirt it off in the dark and it was a bit useless. The wheels, AVS, I believe they are actually Yokohama AVS, not too sure, but they're running on some wheels that I've never been able to find ever again, but they're actually quite decent. Look at the back here, this is the interior. It's more or less mint. When I mean more or less, I mean I've struggled to find one even better than that. Still got the TRX Bluebird centre seat in there, which is quite rare. The Venetian in the back as well, and also a whole bunch of books and manuals, etc. that you might find useful. It does have window tint. The window tint's a bit average though, so I wouldn't consider that to be a perk. Back of the seat, carpets, a bit grubby, but they can be cleaned up quite easy. Recaro Designer Sport SE or something like that in the front. $600 worth of seat, except for the fact that the side bolsters decided to fail. And heads has been fixed up with some race tape, because race tape fixes up everything. The rest of the car's pretty much straight. I mean, nothing too major. Dashboard does light up. Thanks very much, dashboard. It's got center gauges. They're pretty cool. They don't actually work, but they look cool. Dash is painted white behind it. Does have a dash mat. Dash is perfect underneath. Struggled to find a better one of those. Did have splits. Top splits blue. Just cut them off. Easily replaced, because speakers or whatever you want to do. That's about it. Headlining's in perfect nick as well. Also has this fancy little matte light, which is quite rare to the TRX. Even has a stopwatch built in here. Does, and tells you the date. Also has a I have a spare one as well with low K's on the clock. Actually, no, it's high K's, but it doesn't really matter because that no longer works as well, being a Bluebird. Alright, carpet is ideal. It's dirty, but it's still perfect underneath. It just needs a clean, but I'm too lazy, so I don't bother. Go to the engine. Okay, well, this is an engine. Gilmer drive setup. It's noisy as hell. Not actually a huge fan of it. If I had my time again, I probably wouldn't bother. Bit rattly, but it sounds okay when it gets up to speed. We've got ourselves coilovers with the strut brakes, running twin Webbers, 40mm, tuned by ear, not on the street, not ideal, but it's enough to get you out of trouble and create a fair bit of noise and horsepower and scare the shit out of you. Front of it is the TRX. It's got the spoiler. Lights don't actually hook up, they just kind of sit there. Do have the wiring for it, but I thought it looked cool, so I'd fitted them, and I was about 16 at the time, so therefore I still think they're cool, but I've grown up since. The rest of the car's straight as a die. Inside, yeah, it's inside of the car. And I'll even kick it in the guts, why not? You'll hear the lovely sound of a poorly set up Gilmer drive. There it goes. It screams and sounds like shit, but otherwise it's still on there, and you feel free to take it off, fix it up, whatever, it's all good. 5-speed, may make a better zone gear knob, but it's gone a bit hacked after a couple of years. Handbrake, center console, still in pretty good nick. that's about it.